So what was our goal? So first it was that, to be vindicated. And then while you got this platform, right, that's really making a huge difference for you. Scott and I are together. Scott's given me the equivalent of 2 hours of his time every day right now. He never said that's what he was doing. He never said it's 2 hours, but it was the equivalent of, at least 2 hours of his time every day, you know, and even more than that, writing all this stuff. In the beginning was even more than that, because I'm taking full responsibility that everything's urgent for you, and you're going to be either left with no means of making a living that you enjoy. You're going to have to go get a job at McDonald's or something. And I'm present to that, Sameena, right? That's what also drove me. I'm present to, like, we have to win. And it doesn't mean just get your 30 grand. I just need to tell you I'm doing that. But I'm also knowing that that's not going to be enough. I got to, take full responsibility for the impact. So I have to have a career that is better in every single way that I was intending to do with the intervention that I did that backfired on you for your career experience of life at Hospice Vaughan. I have to find something else. Well, I can't get you a job in the field, too much energy and triggers around doing that. I had to create something completely different, right? And what I like about it is that now this story, we just got to get this story quickly for John's writing. That he could just go to a short version quickly into, as fast as possible, like get into the 1111 agreement, my 1111 agreement. Then we can take this offer that I got right now that does not have well, it does. It has a page link, but I want to change that page link, Sameena. And I want it to appear like that frickin' offer is coming from 1111, right? I want it to come from the 1111 site, because that's what we're doing right now. We're promoting 1111. Don't confuse 1212 just yet, right? All we know is this is our agreement, the 1111 agreement. Because of the 1111 agreement, you don't need to know about 1212 right now. Get it? 1111 agreement, which you can use in any way you want, right? Because of that, that's why I am able to have you have these calls with Scott if you're a parent. Why am I doing that? Because it's my decision. Yes, you know my agreement. I earned the 2 hours, but why would I choose this? Because I was completely touched when I saw that video testimonial you guys just watched, the 2 minutes. I was so touched when I saw that, or whatever, and I wanted to do this. So how come you, whatever you say, but so that's how you justify why it's free, and that can make me look like I'm worth so much more. Right? There's a point. What's the catch? Well, there's a catch. Why can you get this free support from Scott? Now it doesn't seem like I'm trying to prove that I'm worthy and like I'm a beginner, because of the way we used your 1111 agreement, right? That you've earned. You say these 2 hours are my decision. I tell Scott how I want to use the services, and this is what I want to do. Why? Because that's why I'm on the call with you, by the way. Right? You make it like the calls, they talk to you. You're on the calls, because this is one of the things that you do that you want to be doing as a business, is making money from intervention work. It's one of the things you love to do. And so the good news for you is you get them for free. Something like that. See what I mean? Now all of a sudden, we don't have to wait for the full damn webinar. We do what Armin said to do. Oh, I missed that part. Did he say that part where he says all you got to do is get your story right? You could go straight into booking appointments. You're sure?
Yeah, I would have remembered that.
Real? You watched the whole thing, eh?
Yeah, 3 minutes and 28 seconds.
Wow. Would you be open to listen to it one more time soon with me?
Just in case, yeah. Maybe I
Yeah,
didn't.
yeah, I'm sure. Well,
Maybe I
just
did
not,
miss it. I don't know.
just not yet. Just not yet. Hold on. Don't go there yet. Don't go there yet. Because I want to just, like, I'm thinking of John the whole time, right? Right? How to make this as short as I can, but everything necessary. It's like at this point, we're going to go watch something where Armin says, and we don't have to include this in the edit. Like, I'll take it out. We're going to watch it, and you're going to hear him say it. If you really tell this story the right way, boom, you go straight into booking appointments. So I'm saying we don't even have to do our offer stack, which is going to be the hardest part of the webinar. We could go into, let's just pause on your 1212 story, pause on my All Addictions Anonymous story, which is just another part of our journey, right? And let's just finish off the 1111 story so it's told by both of us, so that at least there's a backstory history that is the heart and soul of, our whole relationship, right? We just told it. And it's not yet complete until we say we've, that this whole 1111 thing was the spirit of it was this agreement, right? That you got me as long as it's going to take for you to be self-sustainable. That's one thing I'm thinking, but I also can't be a martyr, meaning that I still have to like have a limit, So it's like, yeah, I can look at it at the very least that I'm giving you 2 hours of my 12-step time right now just so I can repair the damage, rather than like taking on these new addicts to start help them through the 12 steps when anyone could do that, but nobody could help you with this situation other than the guy that got you in the mess and is able to actually deal with this shit. Right? And then that formulated and turned into a more formal, official business agreement that happened on the 111th, approximately. Our best guess is 100 from Marla or whatever, the 111th day of the calendar, which happens to be your mother's birthday, which we don't mention, and that was the start of our official agreement, right? Because now you were doing well enough that I gotta limit what I can do. I've done everything. And we got this thing. It's built, but I can't be promising I'm going to be 4-6 hours with you forever. But at least we had this one thing you knew. You got 2 hours of my time every day in the morning where my calendar's available. And I'm not doing, whatever. You do 2 hours every morning, right? And now what you're doing is all of my offers right now, they're all yours, Sameena. That's the best thing for me too. It's like this offer is about turnarounds for parents. You might do another one about mission marketing, helping entrepreneurs with their marketing to get them launched, like what Scott did with me. You see what I mean? All you got to do is take any aspect of the numerous things I created for you. Oh, he helped me create a monetize a membership site. Boom, that offer goes out to certain people. See what I mean? It'll always have this extreme high perceived value because all of these offers that were created during my journey with you, Sameena, in order to honor the purity of it, it needs to honor the not for profit intention, the entire absence of profit motive that I have had and still have, right? With that 2 hours of your time. You keep doing that, telling your story. I'm benefiting from the marketing anyway. It's like it just as time goes on, it's almost like the fact that you keep doing it makes it even better for me. Like imagine when it's at 5 years, and it's like, holy shit. Like I'm just saying this story of 1111, like I said, brand our agreement, right? When you're going live, remember now it's coming to you. I'm telling you that you should be going live on Facebook Live every day and selling the agreement. Every post should say today is 1281, today is 1282, like on the post itself. That's the only thing you should be putting people's attention on, because if their attention's on that, they go, holy shit, why is she doing that? And then they click on your Facebook thing, my1111agreement.com, and it's the entry point into the agreement. And then they can also see the backstory with this webinar story we're creating. But you see what I'm saying? It's the 1111 story with the absence of 1212. Don't even talk about it without AAA. So it is the true spirit of our agreement, and why we're going to be able to justify taking that parent thing and making it your offer, as well as my own. I'm going to do my own, and then I get to keep, a larger percentage of all that. But if you put it through you, right, you get to keep the 2 hours that I give to these people, if it's done during my time, right, that you've earned. I don't get any of that. Just like I'm not getting anything from Andrew. I'm holding the money just to protect it. I gave you 1,000 in November. I'm going to give you before the end of November another 500 of your money. I'm just holding it in the spirit of that's what it took to be honorable with accepting his money, and at the same time disclosing to him it's that I feel it's possible that you may possibly have to choose bankruptcy and don't know when that might happen. But if it's tomorrow, you'd get screwed, Andrew. So that's why we agreed to let me do that, right? Because and I'm telling him during the sessions that, dude, is if you choose to have the session at a time other than these times, even though I said I'll be flexible, I just want you to know, then I would have to get some of the money, that is paid to Sabina. And I
Mhm.
would rather not have any of it because that's not the agreement. I don't want to be flexible with you, but at the same time, it means that I'm delivering my services during my business hours, right? So that's why he agrees to the times. So that's what I'm saying, Samina. It's like, what if our brand story, and this is what all our ads are going out to, is just like our incredible story, and then different offers where you're pimping me out. And each time you're doing that, people are first seeing about our heroic agreement, the touching story agreement, the 20-minute, like there it is. That's our story right there. That's all you need to tell for 1111, right? And if we're doing, when we continue on the work with the what you call it, the webinar for 1212, the webinar for All Addictions Anonymous, right? That's just telling the story at a different part of our journeys. And the writing Johnny did is very, very good. It's like it's exactly what we need because he's wrote, the structure of the key elements of the story to be told for the particular offer. But those offers are different offers, whereas the 1111 offer, the 1111 story is the offer to be part of our story. Yeah, that could be the slogan, be part of our story. Oh, by the way, I had this question for you. If the story is told like it was all an 1111 intervention, like we've told it, you with me? Listen to this, Vita. You got to smile in a minute. This thought came to me while you were talking. Samina, don't answer right now, but you're going to answer this later. How many interventions have we done together after yours based on using your 2 hours per day, which I put as verifiable? That's all we need to actually sell our intervention work together. Because here's what you tell the story of the intervention I did on Granny, but you're just part of the intervention and you just talk like you witnessed it, you were part of it, and you tell it in such a way that you're not, embarrassing your family. You just talk about it like it is an intervention that you were part of. And when you're talking about what you saw me convince the client to do, they just know that they don't know that the client is actually you. And there's nothing wrong with this. It's a true story. You're saying, I witnessed this. I'm telling you, and you just say the word verifiable. I wrote down verifiable. As long as Samina says this, each story that she's telling is verifiable, you know, um, and I'd be happy to discuss the details with you that I'm allowed to, because all of these cases are extremely high confidential private interventions, of which I'm you know only able to share with you the story that I witnessed, but not give you the name without the permission of the specific person giving the name. Which, if you'd like to know the name of the person, please reach out, and I'll talk to you first, and then pass on our conversation to the person whose story that is, and get their permission and request their permission. In other words, you're not hiding anything, right? And then all of a sudden, that's one intervention, right? Let's just name some names without going into the details. But there's the granny story that you get to tell as a success story that happened. You get to tell the success story of Richard Henry, who you can use his name. You could say, and with Richard Henry, he insisted I use his name. We've actually become good friends, right? And then you say his name, right? And we could even get a video from him for sure, like saying, yes, everything Savita said is absolutely true. Or we could script it for him, and he'd say it on his phone, and we'd insert it. Like, you see what I mean? It's a real story. You put it in the script. What's another one? Let me just say Norm Camille, right? He got caught. The family came to me about the molestation. Anyway, tell the story. And then it's like, you're going to speak that in the script responsibly. Now we are 1111 interventions. It's going to blow people's minds, Samina. We probably won't even have time to finish the scripting of the 1212 webinar or the AAA one, although we will find time. We won't have time because we're going to be so busy, serving people. And yes, making money. But this is the fastest pathway to us doing the work we love as well. Right? Okay.
Mm.
What's another one? Okay. There's Hina. You know how to tell that story. All the coaches in the world, she had the best coaches. None of them could get her to make that leap of faith into leaving her husband where there was endless love, right? And you could tell that story. It's totally verifiable. Hina would even give permission, but just don't use the name because you don't want to shame the family. Just say that she was so excited, but but if you want to know who it is, you reach out. I'll let you know. She's I'll point you to some posts where she acknowledges it, right? That she posted on her own timeline. But we are great. We don't want to, you know, take advantage of, our client and just throw that all on a webinar here. We didn't even ask permission to do it or not. For all we know, she might have said yes, but we don't feel good about that. But we could verify this story, right? Only I was able to get her to make that leap. How? Because I helped her create her dream business, which you can see it on the internet. I saw some posts. I was checking her out yesterday. Just like what we did for Liz for free, we did that for Hannah. Hannah's doing all her writing workshops and she's got incredible marketing. People are loving it. She's in the same position with her business as Liz, I would say. Like you look at it, she's doing what she wants to do. And she's doing it single with her friends and she's freaking happy and in love with herself. And now that's what she's doing for the world. She's actually offering that kind of love to her clients that you and that I did through you, because it was your agreement that you provided to her through your agreement with me. That's what you say, that you provided to her, right? Based on your agreement with me. That's how this whole thing's language. So it's constantly, the tension is on, holy shit. That's why this legend, right, that is like doing this because of this sacred spiritual agreement. Well, Sameena, there's 1,300,000 people worldwide that are the only people that Facebook knows love 1111. They have an interest in it. That's why our ad is getting so many likes. It's people aren't even reading the text; they just see 1111 and they comment 1111. Right?
Yeah.
Our audience is inside of there for the real kind of work we want to do, which is turnaround work together. Right? Where you get to be on every call, just like how the original turnaround started. But again, I regress. That's the offer, right? We're just getting to the part we always shortchange, which is the testimonials. So there's Hannah. There's what we did with Natalie. I have the video. I could just watch it and then be reminded, and then we have you get that scripted for you. I've got it. The last session I had with her, and I said to her, why was this worth $22,000 for you? Was it worth 20? Like how? Sell me. And then she sells me. I have that footage, so you can now tell that story. This is verifiable. You got to say again, this is verifiable. We're not intentionally hiding these stories because they're not real and we're making them up and we're pretending that they're confidential. No, they're verifiable. If you are serious about doing business with me, right? If our relationship gets to that point, because right now I'm offering you free, so fuck off about verifiable. But you see what I mean? I promise you, I'll be able to verify any of the stories and all the stories you'd like me to, right? Before you give me a dime, right? But for now, I'm not going to take advantage of my clients. Like,
Yeah. And then there was Michelle,
yes. Now
right?
and you take her, where was she at? We just got to watch some of the footage. That's what I got to do. You got to put on a list there. For Michelle, though, you got to say, Scott, go back into the archives and find whatever you think are like the most important sessions you had with her that share the story of where she was at, really, how fucked up things were, how desperate she was. Like, I got that story, right? It's like, I think it's a hope for the soul episode, right? Had no future. And then all you do now is just say, and now, and this is verifiable, here's what's going on in her life now. And then you just look at her Facebook page and say everything that has occurred based upon looking at what she's done. Right? And it's just like, it's assuming the credit, but it's not saying, it's like, it's true though. She was in this dark place. We got the before, we got the after, and that's another one, also verifiable. Right? But again, I'm not going to expose these people's names and the vulnerable stories, on a webinar, guys, but I can at least tell the story this way so that in no way does it, cause harm to their families. Because that's the kind of interventions we do. right? Like the one it started with me, Sameena, and my beautiful long story, which basically saying this guy is a man of honor and character and would never rip you off because look what he did for this woman that never paid him and he didn't have to go to these lengths to honor his agreement. So if he'd honored that agreement, of course he's going to honor an agreement in business if I pay him. And yet, by the way, here's Trevor. Right? See what I mean? What was another one you got? So we got the Norm situation, we got the Natalie, we got the Hannah, we got the
Anya?
who?
Remember Anya? Anya.
Oh yeah, I saved that footage recently last week. I have an incredible testimony from her. Right? Just say, here's the story. She was, and it will tell it. She was freaking out. She was diagnosed with these mental illnesses, and and she was actually getting well now, and she was like in this complete panic state because if she, you know, if she represented herself as being well into the system, she was actually going to lose her place of residence and everything. And so, I advise her on exactly how to talk to her doctor, exactly how to talk to him, so that he would change his decision, and so that she could continue to have that security that the mental health that people of disability should be provided. She was diagnosed with schizophrenia. She says it, schizophrenia. So you just
Yeah.
tell the story, even though for me all I was trying to do is help her take advantage of the system. That's my truth, right? Because that's what she wanted, because she was freaking out and falling apart. But at the same time, Samina, once I helped her feel good about it, right? And then to do it with congruency, well, what was the result? She's gone on now to be like her life just keeps getting better and better. And she was about to lose everything. And that's the story you will tell, right? And again, this is verifiable. I witnessed this. This was one of the many people that came in that because I was what's called an observer. I was learning and being part of all his work during this 2 hours I had with him every morning. And this is another. So all you're doing is you're telling stories of all the different people that got 2 hours of my time in the studio. Right? Doesn't
Yeah.
even matter if you say they got in the studio paid or not. You don't have to even worry about landlord anymore because we have that original video that proves that we were charging no money for this. You were just wanting to, not just do broadcasts, but actually help people, right? And be part
Yeah.
of that and witness
What
this
about
and learn it.
Jessica?
Yeah,
I,
you talk. Yeah, absolutely. I'll tell you how to tell that story, Jessica. Right? It's about she couldn't. Anyway, I'm not going to say it. I got the footage. But it is. This is the short version. She wanted to so desperately to be away from her husband who is freaking out, has a disease. It's like sees that death everywhere. So she's got this business that she's going to run away from him, and he's in a company where he's getting sicker and sicker from the chemicals that company, and he was just killing himself. He was so Scott did an intervention with on a morning. Sorry, you caused the conditions. I allowed these people. That's what it is. You take the power, not what I did, what you did. But because of my agreement, that was one of the people that I chose to allow in for free during 2 hours. And this is what happened as a result of that thing. Something she was trying to make happen for 3 years, couldn't make it happen. Right? Boom. He took off work and he made that decision and to start getting, the assistance that he was owed from the government based upon the damage done to his body that was caused by the factory he worked in for 20 years or so. That you tell that story, it's verifiable. Right? It doesn't matter if it's 20 years. We don't have to go to Jessica and say, was it 20 years or 22? No, because we're not saying her name. All that matters is that this story's true, Sabina.
Lisa, remember she gave an incredible
I've
video.
got that. She said we can't use that story in the video format, right? But
Yeah.
she gave you the most incredible testimonial, and we have the footage. And you take that footage, and let me tell you another person. And all you do is change the names. Like for Lisa, you might call her Lena or whatever. Let me tell you a story about somebody I'm going to call Lena, but I'm not using the correct names here, guys. That's in the script. Just a reminder, I'm going to tell some stories here. I'm not going to use the correct names and the protect out of
Yeah.
protection of their privacy. But all these stories are verifiable and and I just and whatever stories you need verifiable, you'd be made aware of that if you ever became a paying client. Before I took a dime of your money, yeah, I'd be verifying these stories. But for now, since this offer is not about money, you know, I'm going to give you the opportunity to trust your gut, which is usually right if these stories are correct. And if it is, and you got an issue, book a call with me. Meaning you, Sameena, because it's your business, right? Book a call with me. They're going to want to talk to the celebrity, Sameena, just like they wanted to 3 years ago when I had you a celebrity. We're just making you a celebrity right now, right now, right now in this story.